Fantastic. Okay, brilliant. So let's talk a little bit about term 3 then.
So term 3 is all about getting out there, seeing your first client. So you're probably very excited at this stage, but also nervous. But we'll have done a lot of work. We'll revisit that business launch plan that you wrote prior to joining, all the way through term 1 and term 2. We're touching upon that, making sure we're building your awareness around what's required. So now that plan starts to be put into place. And the whole purpose of that plan is less sort of financially forecasting. It's more about making sure they're in the right mindset to be active. The more active somebody is, the faster they're going to progress. And they really are the only barrier to their own success. So just being confident, getting out there, speaking to their network, going networking and meeting new people, whatever it is that they've got in their plan that we've helped them to develop, now's the time to get out there and do it. So we find that in the soundings, people are speaking to people that they know, whether they have a financial advisor or not, asking them at that point, look, when I get to the stage where I'm ready to start seeing clients, I'm going to be really nervous. Do you mind if I practice on you? That's a really gentle and warm approach to somebody. They're going to sit in front of you. You're going to talk to them as if they are a client. You might actually uncover a need and they might go ahead with it. But if they don't, that's a genuine client meeting that you have been observed on and you'll have got feedback on. So that's a real positive. And then finally in term 3, thinking about commercial skills. So not only tapping into your personal network, but how else can I find lines of supply? So thinking about professional connections perhaps, solicitors, accountancy firms in the local area that might be a really good source of introductions. And what else do I need to do to make sure that I am keeping the lights on and I've got a commercial mindset while I'm running my business?
I really like that touch on it as well, because not something that I've come across in some of the academies that are out there. It tends to be something that's sort of brought in at a later stage in somebody's career journey. But in fact, it's like one of the questions that come up a lot with individuals that are wanting to become financial planners, which is how do I actually go and find clients outside of my immediate network? And you hear about the connections between accountancy firms and solicitors. But I think also as well, I'm speaking to financial advisors of being really entrepreneurial from a commercial perspective. I mean, I had a chap on recently who was really into gaming, and we were talking about him becoming like the financial advisor of choice to the gaming community. There are advisors out there that specifically focus on the fashion world. There are people that focus on YouTubers, Instagrammers. There's lots of these different niches, footballers, rugby players. So do you go into detail about those sort of commercials, or is it just the traditional solicitors and accountants, not to make that sound like a bad thing? But
no, absolutely. We would encourage them to be creative in their thinking here and actually tapping into who they are and the things that they like to do themselves, because the more fun your job is, the more it doesn't feel like work, the more successful you're going to be. So if we have a professional sports person joining us, of course, their network's going to be in that area. I can think of lots of examples of people that have joined us and end up having a niche in the area that they've left because they understand that world. So it could be, high profile advertising, stressful production people. It could be military people. It could be anything. But actually, there's that real connection and bond with them in the first place and understanding of the challenges that they have. And therefore, they do really, really well.
I'd encourage anybody right now listening to this podcast who are thinking about becoming a financial planner, think about where can I be a key person of influence within a community, and do I enjoy that community? Do I know things about it? Do I know the pressures and the stresses that they're under? Do I know what it's like to be a footballer who has to retire early, perhaps due to injury or whatever it might well be? And how has that impacted my life because I was an ex-professional footballer or something along those lines? So I definitely encourage anybody who's listening to this podcast now to really kind of think, where could I be a key person of influence? Well, commercially, who could I give advice to? And secondly, how could I market myself? How could I enjoy doing it?
Exactly.